Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Sorry, 1 second. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन व्रजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारि श्रीरावनचारि यमुनातीरावनचारि श्रीरावनचारि यमुनातीरावनचारि यमुनातीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथां तं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Well, I'd like to welcome all of you all to today's special program celebrating the anniversary of the appearance of the Lordships here in this house. And devotees need some excuse to come together. So we find some excuse or the other. Today I'm going to be talking about something very interesting from the Ramayana. First of all, I would like to begin by asking forgiveness for my lapses in the harmonium. Just began my adventure of learning harmonium over 2 months back. So I'm still getting used to singing kirtan formally in harmonium. But anyway, we learn through mistakes. So today I'm going to be sharing something very insightful from the Ramayana. Something that might really help you understand and reshape the way you look at Ramayana itself. And especially this section that we're going to be discussing is probably something you would have never heard of in your life. It's a very tiny part of the Ramayana, and it's a part that is almost always missed. So I'm just going to pick that little section of the Ramayana and go very deep into it. So in the journey of Ram through the jungle of Dandakaranya, he comes across many sages through his journey. And every time he meets a sage in Dandakaranya, Ram asks that sage a question. When he entered the beginning, when he began just entering into the jungle in Prayag, he met Bharadwaj Muni and he asked him the question, please instruct me which path should I take? Then he met Valmiki Muni further down towards Chitrakoot. And he asked Valmiki Muni, where should I stay? And then he went further down towards the end of Dandakaranya and he met Agastya Muni. And he asked him this question, how should I kill Ravan? All these three questions that Ram asked are not just coincidental, are not just his pastimes, but these questions, if we meditate on them deeply, they actually reflect the problems of our life. And Ram is helping us get solutions to the problems of life through these sages. So by asking these questions to the sages, Ram is actually helping us deal with the deeper and complicated problems of our life. And also, the sequence in which these questions are asked is very important. So today's entire session, we're going to be only meditating on these three questions of Ram and the answers that the three sages gave Lord Ram. And if you simply understand these three questions and the three answers, you will not have any other question in life. All questions of life are answered through these three questions and the three answers that Ram achieved through the sages. The context of the first question is when Ram left Ayodhya and was proceeding towards the deeper part of the jungle. Ram reaches a place known as Prayag. If you even now go to Ayodhya, I this between this year and last year, between December um, to August, I visited this path almost 3 times between Ayodhya and Prayag. So even now, if you go between Ayodhya and Prayag, it's technically now by road, it's about 3-4 hour distance. But in those times, without roads and through jungles, it would have been much, much longer. And plus, Ram went walking to a great part of that extent. Some part there was a chariot, but greater part he had to walk. So when he reached the ashram of Bharadwaj Muni, he was going to meet a sage who was a very qualified sage. Bharadwaj is not an ordinary saint. Just for your information, Bharadwaj is accredited to have written a book known as the Vimanasha, book on airplanes, an entire book, a Vedic scripture on manufacturing of airplanes. So there are many, many scientists today who are trying to figure out what is, and there's a lot of accurate descriptions of dimensions of aircrafts and all in this plane, in this book. Imagine how intelligent Bharadwaj Muni was. So asking a question about travel to Bharadwaj Muni is a very interesting question because he is, expert in the science of traveling here. So Ram's question is, which path should I walk? When we travel, this question is very important. So when you're going to a new place, you naturally want to know how to go there, isn't it? And of course, you can, before the GPS days, you could ask so many people on the road, how do you go there? How do you go there? I'm sure many of you would have lived in the pre-GPS era, and when you travel from one place to another, you're constantly asking someone or the other how to reach the destination, isn't it? There are some people, especially in India, who love to misguide you. I don't know what joy they get, Purposely they'll tell you wrong direction. So Srila Prabhupada would always tell his disciples who came to India for the first time and didn't understand this phenomena, he would tell them, always ask three people. Same question. Where to go? And of the three people, two people who they whatever they say, you do that. This is like the Indian Jugaad system, basically. So a traveler always needs the right guidance on the road. So Ram was a traveler, and therefore he asked Bharadwaj Muni, which path should I take? Our scriptures are very smartly designed, and they help you actually contemplate a lot on the deeper aspects of your life. Like for example, in the morning when we get up, it is recommended before you start your day, you should sit for some time and ask yourself this question: who am I? As soon as you get up in the morning, just sit for some time. Just don't run around. Just don't be in a rush to get going. Sit for a few moments and ask yourself this question: who am I? Now, um, obviously, you have returned from a deep state of sleep. So, when you have returned from a deep state of sleep, um, the significance of asking yourself who you are is a very important thing. So, when you're awake, you can say so many things. Depending on your what you identify with, you can talk about your nationality, you can talk about your religion, you can talk about your gender, you can talk about so many things that you identify yourself with when you're awake. But because during the daytime you have a lot of identities, but at night when you sleep on the bed, even if you are a president of a country, does it matter? It doesn't, isn't it? So in the night when you sleep and you get up in the morning, what is your identity? That's the identity that you really reflect on very deeply. Because all the identities during the day will eventually become redundant. And the ultimate identity is the identity in which you will sleep permanently, isn't it? And therefore, you need to understand that all the identities in the day are like your journey. So we are all on a journey. On a daily basis, we are going somewhere, isn't it? But the nighttime identity, it helps us decide what is our destination. So once you decide who you are, you can decide what you need to do. Therefore, the rishis are always asking us to figure out, to find out who you are. And that's a very, very powerful and a very important question that one needs to ask oneself. And therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam says that there are two types of people who are happy in life. The first type of people who are happy in life are fools. Fools are very happy. If you have seen, they are really blissful people, basically. And the second type of people are those who have reached the biggest goal of life through discrimination by asking the right questions, basically. And everyone in between is restless. Fools are happy, and people who have reached their destination by asking the right questions, they are happy. And everyone in between is totally restless. So Ram is asking Bharadwaj Muni this question: which path should I take? So now the whole idea of path, it indicates the destination also. So now Bharadwaj Muni obviously is thinking, what should I answer Ram? If you ask anyone which path should I take, the question they will ask you back is, where do you want to go? Isn't it? Path is only can be defined if I can tell the destination. If my destination only is not clear, then how can I tell you a path, how to achieve that, isn't it? So if you go to a sage and you ask him which path should I take, the sage will first ask you, where do you want to go, Baba? If you don't know where you want to go, then how can I show you a path? And if I want to know where I want to go, I need to slow down and think a little bit. Where do I really want to go? All day long, we are so busy running around. You ask anyone, during the peak of their business, where do you want to go? And they'll tell you, hey, I don't have any time. Don't stop me. I just want to go. Where do you want to go? That I don't know. But I just want to go. So most of us are in that space, right? We're just living a life full of movement. We're living a life full of busyness. But somewhere we don't have the time to pause and figure out, where am I running? Why am I so busy? And that's why it is said, in the night when you get up, after you get up after a sleep, pause for some time and ask yourself, who am I? Where do I want to go in life? So when we understand this whole idea of this whole idea of identity, we will be able to have the right questions, and we will have the right kind of consciousness to ask these questions. When Dasharath Maharaj in the Ramayana, he goes to meet Kaikeyi in a place known as Kopa Bhavan. In the palaces of the past, there used to be rooms for different things. For every emotion, there was a room. So if somebody had to laugh, wanted to have a funny time, there was a room for laughter. So you go into the room, you feel like laughing. And then if somebody wants to cry, there's another room for crying. It's called a sulking chamber. As soon as you go into the room, you feel like crying. Nowadays, in same room, everything happens. So it's so confusing. I mean, you don't know who's going to act in what way. In the same room, one person is laughing, one person is crying. So confusing. So when Kaikeyi was in Kopa Bhavan, in the sulking chamber, Dasharath Maharaj enters into that Kopa Bhavan, and it is explained that inside that Kopa Bhavan, Kaikeyi was chanting a mantra, and this mantra was given to her by her guru, whose name was Manthara. Manthara giving a mantra. Imagine how powerful that is. And Dasharath Maharaj is trying to speak to her. He was trying to console her. He was trying to help her. But she had already taken Diksha by that time from Manthara. And because she had already taken Diksha from Manthara for this special Guru mantra that she was constantly chanting, um, she she became so obsessed that she didn't want to hear anything else. She was constantly chanting only these mantra. And what was the mantra that Kaikeyi was constantly chanting? The mantra I taught her, the Guru mantra, was the concept of me and mine. So she is saying, those who are mine are mine, those who are not mine are not mine. What does it mean? Those who are mine, and those who are not mine are not mine. What does it mean? So here, mantra was telling Kaikeyi, your son is Bharat. Ram is not your son. Don't think Ram is your son. So many times we hear this kind of concept, this kind of mantras given by many such gurus who teach us to discriminate the concept of me and mine. I don't know how many of you all have noticed this. This is exactly what Prahlad Maharaj's teachings in the Srimad Bhagavatam is. Prahlad Maharaj, when he goes to that Gurukul of Shanda Namarga, he was sent by Hiranyakashipu, his father, to the specialized Gurukul by Shanda Namarga, who were the sons of Shukracharya. And one of the most important things they taught Prahlad Maharaj is to discriminate friend and enemy. This is what MBA is all about. The whole idea of management is about discriminating friend and enemy. And that's exactly what mantra is doing here. Till that point in time, mantra didn't give this Guru mantra to Kaikeyi. She thought Ram also is my friend. She thought everybody is my friend. She loved everyone. She loved Ram also. But the moment mantra entered into her life and gave her this diksha, she suddenly started discriminating friend and enemy. Life is so simple when we are children, isn't it? As small children, we loved everybody. We played with everybody. We enjoyed everybody's company. As you become adults, you become more and more alone. This person is not my enemy. This person also is my enemy. That person also is enemy. Suddenly you realize everybody is my enemy except me. And then later on in life, when we are dying, we realize I am my greatest enemy. Everybody else is my friend. Isn't it? So, um, the idea here is when you start accepting bodily relationships as your most important things, that's what mantra leads you towards. On the other hand, there was another personality in the Ramayana who also gave an advice to Lakshman. This was Sumitra, who was Lakshman's mother. Lakshman's mother told Sumitra that forget the body. I am not your mother anymore. Sita is your mother. Your father is not Dasharath anymore. Ram is your father. Ayodhya is not your home anymore. The forest is your home. And he said, you don't have any other service except pleasing Lord Ram. Now imagine this is another person who is also giving initiation, who's also giving a Guru Mantra. But this Guru Mantra is very different. This Guru Mantra is uniting people, connecting people to God. And Mantra's Guru Mantra is dividing people. It is disconnecting people from God. And both of them are talking about identifications with the body. So, um, when Ram is asking this question to Bharadwaj Muni, which path should I take? The question begins with a contemplation on where do you want to go. If you want to go in the direction which is led by the bodily concept of life, if that's your goal, the American dream, enjoy. If that's the goal, that I want to enjoy my life, then there's a different path. But if you get up in the morning and first thing in the morning you contemplate and think, who am I? What is my real identity? And I realize that I'm not this physical body, I'm the spirit soul, then the path is different. Therefore, Kaikeyi and Subitra both are gurus. One guru is teaching what not to do, and the other guru is teaching what to do. Both are gurus. One guru is misleading, and the other guru is leading. And therefore, uh, when you understand this question, you realize Ram is actually asking a very, very deep question to Bharadwaj Muni. So when Bharadwaj Muni is asked this question, which path should I take? Bharadwaj Muni, he uh, he gives a very strange answer. He tells it actually he tells in a very sarcastic way, you know. So he tells that all path is good. All paths are good. So Ram is asking as a traveler, which path should I take? Bharadwaj Muni is saying all paths are good. So now, this is a philosophy that a lot of people have in life, isn't it? What should I do in life? Whatever makes you happy. Do whatever makes you happy. And that's the path that most people see. Basically, if you just leave people free like that, you do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, people will freak out. Anyway, they don't have direction. And then you give, a path that gives them full freedom, then they'll go crazy doing all bad things, isn't it? And that's what the whole world is today about. The philosophy of do whatever you want. But if you first ask Bharata Muni, this is the destination I want to reach, tell me the path, then he'll give you a very clear path. So Ram, by asking this question to Bharata Muni, what path should I take? He's teaching us that this is not the type of question that you should ask a sage. You should first decide your destination, then ask the sage for a path. The sage will give you the right path to reach your destination. So here in this story, Ram was behaving like a common man. Everyone is wandering aimlessly in this world, and we all need guides. But before you go to a guide, first decide what your destination is. After we have come, any child who has attended at least 5 or 6 classes in the Hare Krishna movement, they'll be able to tell what is their destination, isn't it? It's amazing. You just attend 5 or 6 classes in ISKCON. You will be able to tell anybody what destination you want to achieve. It's very simple, isn't it? And the most amazing thing is once your destination is fixed, then finding the path becomes easy. So then Bharadwaj Muni helped Ram to fix a destination, which was Chitrakoot in this case. And once Chitrakoot was fixed as a destination, then Bharadwaj Muni told him how to reach Chitrakoot from where they were. And then Ram walked and reached Chitrakoot. After he reached Chitrakoot, then he meets the second sage, Valmiki Muni, whose house, whose ashram was right on the outskirts of Chitrakoot. So when he reaches Valmiki Muni's ashram, he asks Valmiki Muni, where should I stay? So he obviously has reached Chitrakoot. So now within Chitrakoot, his now next dilemma is, in Chitrakoot, where should I stay? So Ram wants to know, he's saying, I want to stay in a place where I don't cause trouble to anybody. Or my behavior should not cause any pain to any of the sages who are living in that place. And the second thing he wants to tell is that I'll make a hut and stay there. Now, for anyone, where you stay is very important, isn't it? We all want to choose a home that is Vastu compliant. We all want to choose a home that is in a peaceful location, in a good location. But Ram's question is very interesting here. He's asking, where should I stay? The first thought in his mind is, I don't want to stay in any place that causes inconvenience to other people. So jungle is an ecosystem by itself. So Ram is entering into another ecosystem. This is not his palace. This is the forest. Yesterday, if you remember, we discussed about the concept of palace and forest. So Ram wants to know, when I'm going into a forest, where should I stay in the forest in such a way that I don't cause disturbance to anybody else? And then Ram also says, I want to stay here for a few days. So now these are two things that a traveler must be careful of. The first thing is, wherever we stay, we should not cause inconvenience to other people. Our life should not be causing pain to others. Most people don't think like this. Most people don't think about their neighbors. Most people don't think about their neighborhood. Most people don't think about the environment. Most people don't think about, the place where you're staying. We just feel that I want to stay comfortably. For me to stay comfortably, I don't mind 100 people getting inconvenienced and 100 people going through pain. As long as I am comfortable and I am peaceful. Look at Ram's questions. He is very clear. Where should I stay? In such a way that I don't cause inconvenience to anybody else, and in such a way that I can stay for a short duration of time. Why short duration of time? Because in the jungle, resources are limited. If one person stays for a long duration of time in one place, the resources get depleted a lot. Therefore, they move. Now tell me, have we ever thought like that in our lives? We stay in one place all our life, exploit all the resources in that area, no matter how much is there, I don't care really for what is happening to the environment around me. And Ram is saying that I'll make a small hut for myself, which means that he is not looking at building a gold palace or a silver palace in the jungle. He is saying that I'm totally okay in a small place which is causing least amount of inconvenience to other people and causing least amount of damage to the environment. So now this is the idea of human happiness. When Ram asked Valmiki Muni this question, Valmiki gives a very interesting answer. Valmiki tells Ram, you must stay in the heart of your devotees. He's asking, where in Chitrakoot should I stay? And Valmiki is giving something else only answer. You must stay in the hearts of your devotees. What does that mean? And why does Valmiki give such a strange answer? Why can't the sages speak normal language, that we can understand? Valmiki is trying to tell Ram that you don't have a permanent place. Sorry. You can't stay in any one place. Why? Because Yatra, Lord Narayan himself told Narad Muni, Yatra Gayanti Mad Bhakta, Tatra Tishtami Narada. Wherever my devotees sing, there I stay. So there is no permanent residence to the Lord. The Lord's permanent residence is constantly changing. So today, if one devotee calls me here, he will go there. If another devotee calls him somewhere else, he'll go there. If a third devotee calls him somewhere else, he'll go there. So he keeps moving his residence according to where he's called. So Valmiki is telling Lord Ram, my dear Lord, right now you are called in Chitrakoot because the sages want you to stay here. But after some time, you will get a call somewhere else. Be ready to move. Be ready to move. All of us in our lives, we are all on a journey. So the first part of the journey is, which path should I take? The second part of the journey is, where should I stay? So in the first part of the journey, we spoke about what Bharadwaj Muni, he told him a path defined based on the destination. So once you have a destination clear, the sages will give you the path to reach the destination. The second question, where should I stay? It actually is a deeper question that we have to all ask ourselves. And we have to ask some sage. First, we should stay in a way that causes least pain to others. Second, we should live in a way that we can be useful to others. Third, we should live in a way that there is minimum resources that we consume. And most importantly, we can actually contribute something to society. Therefore, if you look at Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has put all of the Vedic teachings, everything the scriptures talk about, all the Bhagavatam, all of the Bhagavad Gita, all of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, all of our scriptures, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has put it in essence in three words. The goal of our life, Namaruchi, Jivadaya, Vaishnava Seva. That's it. So if you put all our scriptures together, it's these three words. Namaruchi means that we should develop taste for the holy name. Jiva Daya means we should have compassion for the living entities. And Vaishnava Seva means we should want to serve other devotees. So here, in this answer, Valmiki is actually telling Ram exactly the same thing. Live in such a place where you are ready to constantly move wherever you are called. That means if a devotee needs you there, you will go there. If a devotee needs you there, you'll go there. So all of us, rather than making our life about finding a permanent house or finding a permanent residency, finding a permanent situation to live in, we should be thinking, how can I make my life useful? Rather than thinking how I can earn more valuables, I should be thinking, how can I become more valuable? How can I become useful to other people? How can I become, how can I add value to other people's lives? So most people are living, accumulating valuables. Every day the bank balance is increasing and increasing and increasing till the point of death. And after the point of death, somebody else is using the bank balance. So what's the point in increasing the bank balance all through your life when it is going to be useless to you at the point of death? Rather, look at accumulating less resources and using your life in a very, very useful way, in a very, very, uh, in a way that is pleasing to the world. So Lord Ram is also indicating here that I'm not attached to that house. Lakshman makes a beautiful house in Chitrakoot. Now they hear this instruction from Valmiki Muni. They hear this instruction that you have to go wherever you are invited. So Lakshman, Ram, and Sita, all three of them heard this instruction. So from that moment only, they came to know that anytime they might have to shift as soon as they get a call from some other place. Yet Lakshman builds a beautiful hut for Ram with many rooms. And the Valmiki Ramayana, the description of that hut is amazing. He created one of the most beautiful huts ever possible, using some of the most valuable, diamonds and pearls that he gathered around from the river, precious stones that he found on the mountains, and feathers of peacocks, and such a beautiful design. Created rooms for Ram to spend time with Sita, created room for Ram to spend time with the sages. Fantastic house. They entered the house. Ram loved it. Sita really loved it. Ram and Sita appreciated Lakshman's creation. And then Ram asked Lakshman, you created such a beautiful place. When we have to leave from this place, won't you feel bad? I mean, obviously, every creator is attached to his creation, right? So Ram asked him, now, why did you put so much effort to create this house if you're going to move in some time? Lakshman says, my dear Lord, if we move, I'll get another opportunity to create another house for you like this. So he says, for me, moving is not a problem at all because it simply means I have another opportunity to serve you in another way. Lakshman was even more detached. You know, Ram was detached, obviously. The day his Graha Pravesh is happening, he's asking when to move out. He's thinking from that point of view. And Lakshman, who created the house, is even more detached. He's thinking that I'm getting another opportunity to create another house for Ram. This is what this whole idea of where should I stay is about. So when we talk about where should I stay, it's on a deeper level and on a superficial level. On a superficial level, Ram is asking Valmiki Muni, where should I stay? Valmiki can point out to one hill in Chitrakoot and say, stay there. But that's not the point of asking such a question. If even Ram has to ask such a superficial question, then what is the difference between Ram and us? So even in that question of Ram, there is depth, and in the answer of Valmiki, there is great depth. And then finally, after 13 long years pass, they passed, not 13, sorry, about 10 long years pass through the forest of Dandakaranya, and they finally reach the ashram of Agastya Rishi, which is at the border of Dandakaranya forest in a place known as Panchavati. And there, um, Ram asks Agastya a third question. Tell me the way to kill Ravan. How can I kill Ravan? Killing Ravan should be the goal of our life also. So till Ravan is not killed, Ram Rajya cannot be established. And therefore, um, till Ravan is not killed, society cannot be happy on an individual level and a collective level. And therefore, all of us have to constantly keep thinking of how to kill Ravan. So, and of course, asking this question, how to kill Ravan, to Agastya Muni is itself the right choice. So, about the path, he asked Bharadwaj Muni because he was an expert in Paramartha path. He was an expert traveler basically. So Ram asked Bharadwaj Muni this question on what path to take. Valmiki was the creator of Ramayana. The word Ramayan, the word Ayan means house. So Valmiki was a creator of Ramayana, and therefore he is expert in creating houses. So Ram is asking him question, where should I stay? Right? So this whole idea of choosing the right place to stay for building a house is the right person is Valmiki Muni. And the third person, Agastya, is chosen for asking this question: how should I kill Ravan? And there's a very deep reason behind why Agastya was chosen to ask this question. Because Ram met many sages, but he reserved this question for Agastya only. So Ravan represents moha or illusion, and illusion is of different types. And um, Lord Ram actually sent Hanumanji to help Ravan, kind of overcome the illusion that he was in. Hanumanji is not an ordinary person; he is a doctor, and he is a doctor of the mind. And Hanumanji went to Lanka in the mood of being Ravan's guru. If you actually noticed in the Ramayana, Hanumanji primarily went to give message to Mother Sita, right? But he went and did one extra service over there. He went and taught Ravan some lessons. So now you might be wondering, why did Hanumanji go out of the way? Ram never told him to go and teach Ravan a lesson. Ram only told him, go and give this message to Sita. But Hanumanji understood the mood of Ram. He understood the consciousness of Ram. He understood the desire of Ram. And he understood that Ram wants him to do this extra thing of going and giving Ravan some, gyan, some knowledge. So Hanumanji, he went and spoke to Ravan in the assembly, front of everybody. So first of all, to get Ravan's attention, he did all that destruction of Ashok Vatika and all that. And finally, when he got to meet Ravan, Hanumanji tells him, "See, I don't know if anybody has taught you some good manners or no. If a guest comes to your house, you should provide them a good seat. And because you have not provided me a seat to sit on, I'll make my own arrangement." And he created this whole seat of, his tail became so huge. And he sat. And the interesting thing is, Hanumanji's seat became a little higher than Ravan's seat purposely. Hanumanji had the ability to, increase the size of the chair how much ever he wants. Hanumanji purposely increased a little higher than Ravan so that Ravan looks up at him. And Hanumanji assumed the mood of a guru to teach Ravan what he should do. And Hanuman, after he taught him so much, he realized this fellow is not going to get cured. His illusion, his disease is not going to get cured simply by Gyan giving him lecture. I need to do some real treatment. And for him to do that real treatment, he needed some ashes. Some medicines are made with ashes, basically. So he burned full Lanka so that he gets some ashes. And using that ashes, he makes a medicine to give some Ravan some, a medicine to get cured, basically. So when we are in illusion, we become very proud. Pride is of many types. There is something known as tamagun pride, there is something known as rajagun pride, and then there is something known as sattvagun pride. Sattvagun pride is good, is a good type of pride. For example, I am a devotee of Krishna and I'm proud of it. That's sattvic pride. And that kind of pride is encouraged. So Hanuman wanted Ravan to develop the right kind of pride. He's telling this guy has a wrong kind of pride. He has tamagun pride, completely illusion, completely ignorant type of pride. So if he thinks that he is the greatest and there is nobody better than him, how stupid is that? So Hanumanji had no problem with him being proud. But if the idea of tamagun pride is that for a person who is having tamagun pride to be happy, they have to snatch from others, they have to take from others, they have to grab from other people. Then they feel happy. Someone in Sattvagun, their happiness does not come by taking from others. Their happiness comes by serving others. So Hanumanji, he tried his best to get Ravan rid of all the disease that he had, the illusion that he had, but somehow that pride and illusion was not resolved. So Ram had to figure out. Ram had to find a way to destroy Ravan. So Ram asks Agastya Rishi, how should I kill Ravan? Agastya Rishi, he advises Ram something very interesting. Now, Ravan has an entire body, and his body is massive, powerful, very, very intense. So, Ram initially thought destroying Ravan is a matter of cutting his head off. So, we all know that if, once your head is cut, there's nothing left, isn't it? If somebody's head is cut, can you do anything? Life is done. You're finished, isn't it? So Ram thought, if I shoot Ravan's head, cut it off, he'll be finished. But the problem with Ravan is that when one head gets cut, another head comes. The head represents intelligence, buddhi. And the nature of intelligence is that when you have intelligence, whoever has intelligence will also have doubts. Sometimes in bhakti, I feel not being intelligent is good. You know why? You don't have to think only so much. Just do whatever you're told. So simple life will be. If we simply didn't have intelligence and only had a heart, then bhakti would have been so beautiful, isn't it? The problem is that we have intelligence and are trying to do bhakti. So many doubts keep coming. Why is this devotee behaving like this? Why is he speaking like this? Why is this happening like this? So many doubts keep coming in our mind. Every time we try to do devotional service in a pure spirit, these doubts keep coming. And then we have to shoot, with an arrow, one head gets chopped off, another head comes. Then you cut a second head, another head comes. When you're sitting and hearing a lecture, you love the lecture. Wow, what a beautiful lecture it is. As soon as you go out of the room, doubt comes. You know. So the nature of doubts is that they keep coming again and again and again and again. And Ram kept cutting the head again and again and again and again. Still Ram is not dying only. The interesting part is that uh, in Lanka, when the Ram Ravan war was going on, as Ram was chopping off the heads of Ravan, the heads were falling off, and a new head would come, and the head that got cut would stood be on the floor. In a matter of some time, there were hundreds of heads on the floor lying down there. Now imagine what a ghastly sight, you know. And I didn't even know what Ravan will be feeling looking at his own face there, looking at his own head over there. Oh, so many heads of his staring at him only, basically. And then Ram started cutting off the hands of Ravan. So every time it cut off the hand, another hand would come up. So Ram was constantly doing this, and then he was really confused. What is this? Why is Ravan not dying? And that time, there was a small break. Just like, when you're watching television, suddenly in the important scene, one advertisement break comes. So here in this Ram Ravan war, massive fight going on. And in the middle of this fight, Ram injures Ravan very badly. And this chariot driver of Ravan takes Ravan off the battlefield to treat him and to cure him, basically. In that little duration that Ravan has gone off the battlefield, at that time Agastya Munir appears on the battlefield. And then Ram asks this question, how should I kill Ravan? And Agastya Rishi gives a powerful answer. He tells Ram the only way to kill Ravan is by drying the nectar that is stored in his navel. No matter how many heads you cut, the head will come back again. But when you dry the nectar that is stored in the navel of Ravan, that's when he'll die. Now, what is this whole head cutting business? What is this hand cutting, head cutting thing going on? Everything in our scriptures is symbolic in nature, as I said. Therefore, the cutting of the head symbolizes dealing with bad habits and bad thoughts. So, head represents the place where bad thoughts come in. So, when you cut one bad thought, another bad thought comes up. You destroy that another bad thought, a third bad thought come up. You destroy one bad habit. All bad habits are done with hands, right? Without hands, you can't do any bad habit. So when you cut off your hand means what? It's cutting off one bad habit. When you cut off one bad habit, another bad habit will come up. You cut off that bad habit, another bad habit will come up. So how long should I keep cutting my head and cutting my hand? So when you come into the path of bhakti, don't think simply by cutting your head and hand things will be fine. If you cut your head and hand, another head will come up, another hand will come up. So every time you think, I have conquered all my bad habits, suddenly one new bad habit comes up. Just when you thought that I have conquered all my bad thoughts, one new bad thought comes up. And therefore, Agastya Muni's answer is very interesting. He says, hit at the navel. What does navel represent? The navel represents sanskaras, the root of all bad habit, the root of all bad thoughts. The root of all bad thoughts, all bad habits is character. Sanskar. Sanskar doesn't really have a English translation. Sanskar is the root of your character formation itself. So only when you change that, only when that gets purified, that gets transformed, will all your bad thoughts and bad habits completely get purified. So Agastya Muni tells Ram, don't waste time cutting the head and cutting the hands. Focus on the navel. So for all of us, that's the answer. So we are all trying to get rid of illusion in our life. Don't focus on cutting the heads and cutting the hands. Don't focus on dealing with the bad thoughts and bad habits. Focus on changing your character, transforming your character itself, which is what the whole process of bhakti is. In the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami talks about this. He talks about bija and kuta. So when we chant the holy names of the Lord, the power of the holy name is such that it can help us transform at the level of the consciousness with which we exist. And only when the transformation happens at that level of the consciousness can complete character transformation happen, can complete habit transformation, and complete thought transformation happen. And that's what the path of bhakti is all about. So Lord Ram is being advised by Agastya in this way. So we have three great sages, Bharadwaj Muni, Valmiki, and Agastya, being asked by Ram three different questions. Bharadwaj Muni is Ram is asking Bharadwaj Muni the question, where should I go? Bharadwaj Muni first, he in a very light mood, he says, all paths are same. Basically, he's trying to tell Ram, first define your destination, and then you ask me, where should I go? So, all of us in our lives also, before we ask the question, which path should I follow, first decide where do you want to reach. If you don't know where do you want to reach, which sage will be able to guide you on which path to follow? So, first decide your destination. Chitrakoot represents the destination of a sadhaka. Chitrakoot represents the destination of every sadhaka, the aspiration of every sadhaka. When Bharat tries to go and meet Lord Ram, when he understands that Ram is staying in Chitrakoot, for him Chitrakoot becomes a dham. The Chitrakoot becomes the goal of his life. Just like Vrindavan is for the Krishna Bhaktas, Chitrakoot is for the Ram Bhaktas. For all the devotees of Lord Ram, Chitrakoot is Vrindavan. So that means the destination that you decide should be decided first, and then a sage like Bharadwaj Muni can help you find the path to reach your destination. And then the second stage, Valmiki Muni, Ram asked this question, where should I stay? And in that question, Ram is trying to figure out um, in the mood of staying, how much should I stay? Where do I cause least trouble to other people? Where do I cause least inconvenience to the environment? Where do I live in such a way that I'm useful to others? All that. So, where should I stay in our context represents the way in which we live our life. We all are staying in our homes, but where should we stay? In our hearts. That means that what should be the state of our heart? What should be the consciousness with which we live in whichever home we stay in? uh, how should I live in such a way that I cause least inconvenience to others? How should I live in such a way that I cause least pain and botheration to others, which I cause least harm to the environment around me, where I can be of maximum use, when I can be really useful to society and to people around me, where I can focus on Jiva Daya, compassion to other living entities, where I can focus on Vaishnava Seva, serving other devotees. And then Ram asks Agastya Rishi the third question, how should I kill Ravan? Illusion. And the answer to the question Agastya Muni is saying is that illusion cannot be cured at an external level. By cutting off the heads and cutting off the hands, cutting off your bad habits and bad thoughts, you're not going to get rid of illusion because they'll keep coming back again and again. Until and unless you go really deep and transform the character and work at the level of sanskara, your externals will keep changing again and again, but it will not lead to a permanent transformation. And therefore, with these three questions, Ram has kind of really given us a blueprint of how to live our lives. And through these three answers, these three sages have given us so much to contemplate and think on. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or any comments? I hope I didn't confuse you all and give you all too much of a heavy dose. Yes, yes, bro.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the very nice class. I have two questions. The first question is you talked about why a certain sage was chosen.
Yeah.
Why was Agastya chosen for how to kill Ravan? Maybe you can
Okay.
tell me this, please.
Yeah. Agastya was chosen to kill Ravan because Agastya had two great capacities. One was he had the ability to deal with illusion because there were two demons called Ilval and Vatapi, who were masters in illusion. I don't know if all of you all know the story of Ilval Vatapi. I'll share the story briefly so you understand the context. So Agastya Rishi, when he got married to this uh, beautiful lady named Lopamudra, so after the marriage, Agastya Rishi wanted to have children. Lopamudra told him, "We don't have a house also. We don't have any money also. What are you talking about having children?" So she said, "I don't want to have children unless we have enough money." So now, obviously, she didn't tell him what is enough money. So Agastya Rishi set out to get enough money. So he went and asked a king in a nearby kingdom. He said, "After all your expenses, do you have any extra money that you can give me?" Very interesting question. Malab, he didn't want to touch anything that was needed for the king for his expenses and all that. He said, "After all your expenses over, is there any extra money that is left that you can give me?" The king showed him book of accounts. He said, "I'm sorry, I don't have any extra money. You can check my accounts." The king took him to another king, and Agastya Muni asked him the same question. The second king also said, "I'm sorry, I don't have any extra money," and he showed him accounts. Then they took him to a third king, and the third king also said, "I'm sorry, I don't have any extra money." And in those days, when kings said like that, they actually meant it. Not like today. They say something and actually mean something else. So Agastya Rishi, so all the three kings felt very bad for Agastya Rishi that they're not able to help him. Then they told him there's one fellow who actually has a lot of extra money. In fact, all his money extra only. They told him, let's go to him. And they they told Agastya Rishi about these two brothers named Ilval and Vatapi. These two brothers were demons, and they lived a very interesting way of exploiting people's resources. So what they did was they stayed on a highway and they created a beautiful palace on the highway. And anybody who was hungry, they would invite. Now, obviously, typically on the highway, there would be some hungry people or other. And they would choose those whom they feel have a lot of money. They would invite that type of person only. So what they would do was, Ilval, so Vatapi had a ability to convert himself in any form. So when the guest would come, Vatapi would convert himself into a goat, and Ilval will cut this goat, cook him into a really nice type of meal, and he would cook in such a way that nobody would know whether it is vegetarian or non-vegetarian. He would cook in really thorough way, basically. And whoever came, he would feed them this meat. And after this fellow has eaten meat sufficiently, then Ilval will shout out, "Vatapi, come out." And this fellow from stare open the stomach of the guest and come out. And that's how they would destroy all their guests and take over their property. So this time, Agastya Muni came with these three kings. And this Ilval, he saw, Agastya Rishi has come with these three kings. He saw the three kings and he got attracted. He invited them for lunch. And he took Vatapi inside and he converted him to he transformed into a goat. He cut him, cooked the meat, and he got obviously these three kings know the story. So they didn't want, they said, we are fasting today. We don't want to eat. Agastya Rishi said, I am hungry, give me. Agastya Rishi took all the king's plates. He ate like anything. He ate like crazy. He said, anything more left. Whatever this fellow cooked, everything he ate. Ilval was bewildered looking at the capacity of this sage to eat, so much he ate. And then after he ate, Agastya Muni farted also three times. So then Ilval, he said, Vatapi, come out. Nothing happened. Watapi not coming out only. So he thought maybe he's inside dancing around something. So he said, Vatapi, come out. Agastya Rishi said, Vatapi Jirno Bhava. Vatapi digested inside. Ilwal was bewildered, totally bewildered. He never realized that something like this also is possible. And he came running to kill Agastya Rishi. And Agastya Rishi chanted the Hunkar mantra. The Hunkar mantra is a high pitch Omkar basically. And the moment he chanted the Hunkar mantra, this Ilwal was burnt to ashes. So this Ilwal and Vatapi represent illusion, the illusory potency. And Agastya, he has the capacity to deal with illusion. And therefore, because Ravan represents Moha, illusion, Agastya was chosen to answer that question.
One more question.
Yeah.
You said Agastya said Ravan has nectar in his navel. How did Ravan get that?
There's Brahma's blessing. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much for your wonderful lecture, Professor. So I have two questions, sir. So and I had a follow-up of what you have mentioned in the story. So the three kings said, they already know that they will be given non-veg kind of thing. So they said no. But why didn't they tell actually to Agastya Muni that this is a
Yeah.
non-veg eating and everything?
See, sages like Agastya, they live, their life is meant for serving society. For them, these externals don't matter. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked this question by some person. So Prabhupada asked this person, this person asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, did Ram eat meat in the forest? Prabhupada, instead of answering the question, you know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, Ram can eat anything. He can eat you also. So the point is, great sages like Agastya, they may seem eccentric. They may seem, doing something very odd, basically. Like in this particular case, he actually ate that goat meat. But we should understand the purpose for which they did it, right? So the purpose is so powerful and so important that the external aspect doesn't matter only. It really doesn't matter. And the ability, so digestion doesn't just means actual digestion from a physical point of view. Digestion also means from a karmic point of view. Agastya not only has the ability to digest the meat, but he also has the ability to digest the karma that comes along with it, right? So meat eating is not allowed for us because karmically it is very dangerous, it is very harmful. But here there is no karmic involved because this fellow was a demon basically. And more than that, what Agastya was doing was going to benefit society in such a big way. So there's no karma involved in it at all. So that's the way to look at it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So my actual question was, you were explaining about the pride in the mode of goodness, pride in the mode of passion, and pride in the mode of ignorance. So you have given example, pride in the mode of what is pride in the mode of goodness. We are proud that we are servants of Krishna
Yeah.
and passion and ignorance. Could you please tell us
Yeah.
how do we recognize? I mean, do
Yeah.
we have that in our heart?
So pride in the mode of passion means that we are proud of our skills and abilities without recognizing that these skills and abilities come from a higher power. And pride in the mode of ignorance means you have no ability, still you're proud. Pride in the mode of ignorance means you have no ability, still you're proud. That's what, nowadays people make reels, strange, doing nothing, and they are millions of followers. So proud. This is the pride in mode of ignorance.
So practically, if we think about how do we even recognize in the even we are in the devotion, practicing practice sadhana stage. So how do we even recognize that we have proud, we are pride of something what we have?
See, um, these anarthas are default mode of every human being. You assume that you have all of them. and then you start devotional service, right? So you don't have to say think that whether I have or no. You assume you have all of them, and then you work on them basically.
Thank you so much, wonderful Prabhu. I have another question. Like the Agastya Muni came last question, right? So Agastya Muni. So it is mentioned somewhere, I don't know where it is, but Agastya Muni at that time, when he was saying to Lord Ram that the nectar ladder thing, it has, so you have to point over there, your arrow. So that time, did he tell any Aditya Hridayam
Yeah.
that time?
Yeah, I didn't mention that purposely. So before he gave the he answered this question, uh, when Ravan was away, Aditya Muni, Agastya Muni offered the Aditya Hridaya mantra to Lord Ram, and Aditya Hridaya mantra is a sun invocation mantra, because for he offered the sun, Aditya Hridaya mantra for two reasons to Lord Ram. One is because Ram belonged to the Surya Kula, he belongs to the Sun dynasty, and that mantra of the Sun dynasty will empower him with his whole ancestry basically. And also the second reason is, when you are very weak and you are exhausted, you need the sun to regain your health, to regain your strength. So this is the seventh day of the war, and Ram was completely exhausted. 7 full days of fighting, and the fag end of the seventh day. And therefore, Agastya Muni gave him the Aditya Hridaya mantra, and it completely rejuvenated Ram and made him completely fresh again, as if it was he was beginning the war. That's
This incident was mentioned in Ramayana.
Yes, it is in Valmiki Ramayana. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for clarifying this.
Thank you.
I had this question for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, good to know.
Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna
Yeah.
Prabhu. Is there any significance to the order of the questions asked?
Yes. The significance is that first you should know your destination, and then start walking on the path or towards your destination. And as you walk on the path towards your destination, you need to understand the consciousness and the mood with which we walk on the path. We should understand the state of heart that we need to carry on the path. And while we are walking on the path, carrying the right state of consciousness in the heart, there will always be certain anarthas, certain illusions that will come and bewilder us. And that time we need help to deal with those anarthas and illusions. So this is the sequence of events that will happen in our lives as we embark on the path of devotional service. Okay, thank you. Yes.
As you said that in order to you, the very first question was asked. So how do we know about destination? That's the reason we surrender to a guru, right? To
Yeah.
know the destination.
Yeah.
So how does Ram know his destination?
So the destination, see, basically, I'll tell you how it is. When we have this human body is like a machine. It comes with a manual. So the scriptures are already there as manuals. We are all supposed to read the scriptures and understand our destination. And the guru is needed to help us, go by that path. So the assumption that Vedic scriptures have is that everybody knows what the destination is based on the manual, basically. So only the way to figure it out, we need teachers for it. So just like all manuals can be read self read also, but ultimately you can't understand everything. You need a teacher to help you figure things out. So similarly, you know your destination through the scriptures, but you need a guru to help you navigate the path. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Any other questions or comments?
Question.
Yes.
I don't know quite how to word it, so please forgive me. I'm understanding that focusing on the character is of great importance, and changing our character so that we can progress accordingly and interact in a way where we're of no inconvenience of others. And so I forget right now in the moment where I've read it, but uh, by chanting the holy name over time, attentively, of course, and following the regular principles and so on and so forth. It's said that we gain the character, or we gain the characteristics of the demigods in terms of how to go, interacting with them. Is it would I be speaking for myself? I guess would I be wasting time if I'm focusing on how to change my character versus focusing on the holy name, which would inevitably bring me there as well? I'm trying to.
Yeah, it is. See, the point is when Agastya Rishi is telling him that you have to hit at the navel, a transformation of character. How do you hit at the navel? Through the holy name only. How do you transform your character? Through the holy name only. The process of transformation of character is through holy name only. So you cannot transform character magically, right? There has to be a process to transform a character. So the process of transforming is chanting of the holy names only. Sadhana bhakti is a process of transformation of character. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure and honor to be with you all for the last 2 days and serving you all through these 3 sessions. And hopefully, whatever I shared with you all will um, would have helped you in some way or the other. And it's been a great pleasure and honor to be here. And I'm so happy to see so much sincerity in all of you on a weekday evening coming so far and taking out time for being in the satsang program. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to the management of ISKCON Portland for giving me this opportunity, and especially grateful to Krishna Keshav Prabhu and his family for taking good care of me and facilitating this trip. So happy and honored to be here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prabhuji. In fact, your busy schedule gave us 3 days here. That is 2 days, 3 sessions. Many enlightening sessions start with Nam Ramayana. Yesterday, whatever we do as a devotee, we should have a purpose, not just like understand the principle behind it. Today, wonderfully enlightening. What is the purpose of life? With these 3 questions and answers to these stages. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I hope you all like to have Prabhuji next week more time. Highly lovely, say Haribol. Thank you all for, as Prabhuji said, in spite of great day, rainy day, hail day, everything is happening. So, in spite of that, we all give your time to come here and give your appreciation. Thank you so much. We'll serve prasadam now. Hari Hari.